in one of your programs, who said that Nigeria, and he said he wants to be quoted, that Nigeria is the only country where police structure is run like this in the whole world. Police is supposed to be localized. If you recall that before this time, I had even advocated that the posting of police officers that's Nigeria police now, be localized, like former president IBB did in the 80s. Post policemen to their geopolitical zones. That also have not been tried. He tried and it was stopped. Like Mr. Okichukwu said, it was the military that destroyed the police. We had regional police, we had native authority police, even pre-colonial days. We had the constabularies and all this. They were all working until the election in 1966, when they now started using the local police. But again, we cannot continue like this. The crime situation is overwhelming. We are going to election. And that's why I said I was happy when the National Assembly said that they are giving a time frame with which to pass this thing. And equally, I am aware that over 5 state assemblies have keyed into this project. That shows you that it is popular, people want it, people need to. But the question of funding, like Okechukwu said too, if you take Lagos State, for instance, they have a security trust fund. States can even explore these avenues to look at corporate bodies to assist them in financing. Security, as it is now, the federal government alone cannot fund the police. Police is underfunded, it's a well-known fact. But should we fold our hands because the police are underfunded and will not do anything about it? Localize the police, the states who can afford it can go ahead, establish, as long as the Constitution has been amended, establish their own police force. Then, if we see how effective or ineffective it is, we can still make amendments to the laws. But for us to sit down and say, we will not try because it will be abused, that is defeatist.
But what do you think of?
Buy into that.
What do you think of the arguments that Mr. James put out of the fact that right now the police is underfunded, right now the police is undernumbered, the population of the police force is really low? What should be looked at is how to make the police function more effectively to cater to the needs of these police officers. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a well-known fact that police is underfunded. Now, granted, we have less than 400,000 policemen manning almost 200 million people. That's grossly inadequate. But there's no amount of money that you give to the police now that will make them effective to cover everybody. You talk of training. It's going to take time for you to recruit people and train. But in the local, so the issue of funding, where is the money for the funding in the first place? Police or security is not the only challenging sector. But I believe that without security, there won't be any meaningful development. That's why we must pay attention to our security. As it is now, the federal government cannot adequately fund the police or give them the necessary tools. I agree with what he said, that the police is underfunded, police is understaffed. But out of the less than 400,000 people that the police have, how many of them are adequately deployed for real security work? Look at, we have the Police Service Commission chairman said this before everybody. You have over 150,000 policemen deployed to individuals and corporate bodies. These people are paying. Where is the money going to? And so the issue of funding shouldn't come up at all. We need to localize our police. We need to amend our constitution to accommodate the state police. States that can afford it, fine. States that cannot afford it, well, it's unfortunate. But when you say assign a responsibility to the chief executive of a state, the governor, you say, is the chief security officer, he has no control over the police. Next minute, you hear that the man refused to take instruction from me. The governor will go to Abuja, to the IG, begin to ask for the deployment of the CP that is not cooperating, where is cooperating with the governor, you hear from the Abuja that the man is compromised. So how long shall we continue like that? I don't think funding is the issue, besides the fact that we don't even have the funding.
Okay, CSP James, you talked earlier about the fact that Nigeria is not ripe for state policing. Do you want to expatiate more on that?
Yes, what I said was we are not matured for this. Mr. Jeffo has just said it, that you have a lot of policemen deployed to civilians. These civilians are politicians. If even at the federal level, they still have influence in taking out policemen to do duties that are not supposed to be regimented duties, you can imagine what will happen in the state where a state governor directs that every girlfriend or every boyfriend should have 10, 20 policemen behind him. And what I feel should be done is that, one, our morality will come to question when most of these things are done, because we are people that are so much used to power, giving instructions that even we know that are not too useful. The most important thing to do with the policing is to go back to the community policing. Let recruitment to be done at the state levels and deploy back to your local government after training, so that with that, you should be able to effect better policing within your communities. And secondly, if I were the IG, I think it's better to now create squadrons within the states that can be manned by squadron commanders who are indigenous of these states, and then 90% of the personnel inside the squadron should be those who are from those states, because they know the terrain, they can give you better intelligence, and with that, it will be better police than to talk of state policing. When you look at the issues of budgeting, a state like Benue has a budget of 170 billion, and 60% of this is funded externally. Internally, you discover they don't have much to do in terms of financing. So when states like that are talking of state policing, how many AK-47 will you supply the policemen to become effective? How many policemen will you even pay their salaries? How many policemen will you be able to get APCs for them to carry? Talk less of maybe quantum ammunitions and tear gas. So it is not just about having a law to establish a police, but we should be able to look at where, one, our morality shouldn't be questioned in terms of abuse of policemen that we have. And then secondly, we should be looking at areas where finances can no longer sustain this. So my colleague in Lagos there talked about the synergy between Lagos State government and the police. Every governor can do that thing also. Why can't governors also agree that they can support the policemen posted within their states to provide accommodations for them, give them things, move them to locations where they can be operationally effective, provide vehicles for them? You hear sometimes window dressing, our governors donate 30 vehicles to the police. By the end of the day, you discover that there is nobody to service these vehicles. You run them on very low fuel, and within 6 months, the fuel pumps will start giving issues. So it is not just providing this thing, but it is the backup that you need. So if we are willing to have a police that can deliver, we should be talking about community policing now. Recruit a lot of people within the locals and post them back after serving, so that they should be able to give you intelligence on the ground. People will be more comfortable with people that they know, they grow up with, to give them intelligence. And of course, you know your terrain, you know who is new in your community. So
okay.
community
Mr.
policing
James,
will still solve
Mr. James,
yes, please.
You've talked about this idea of training the recruit, train, and then post them back. Now, there are some others who are concerned about the state of origin or local government of origin thing, because there are some people that have lived in some localities all their lives. They don't know anywhere else. They may not exactly be indigenes, but they were born and grew up there. So how would you now say recruit indigenes and post them back to their local government of origins?
Yes, thank you. When you look at the recruitment pattern in the police force, it doesn't really follow that you must come from your locality before you are recruited. Most people that are recruited in police in some states are not indigenous of those states, like Abuja, Lagos, and most of these big cities. The police know that some people were born in these states. And looking at your issues of freedom of association and settlements, wherever you stay for a while, you become an indigene. So if you are born in a state where you have lived all through your life and you are recruited, it's as good as we're indigene of that area. So you can be posted back.
Okay.
And the only organization
just hold your thoughts, Mr. James. We'll go on a quick break and we'll come back. We're not done with that state of origin thing. Please don't go away.